A jelly edit.
Hey guys. I didn't really expect to make this video, but since it's been quite a few months since it's happened, and things have died down a little, I figured I'd come forward and tell my side of the story. For those of you who don't know or remember me, I used to go by Jelly Rogers, or by Jelly, and I've used that name online for over a decade. It was a name that's been a part of me for almost my whole life, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my ex-boyfriend who still till this day I still admire. He may not feel the same, but that's not the point. I dated a certain green Spriggan VTuber for about 3 months, and the story about how we met is still very wholesome. I still have quite fond memories with him I still think about. But I'm not here to waste anyone's time. Just a little backstory about me before I go on. I suffer from an illness, known as apasia, due to physical trauma I went through as an early age, and it prevents me from physically talking. Alongside that, I also have PTSD, bipolar disorder, and ADHD. I will admit, meeting and making friends has always been very difficult for me, since the incident which happened when I was 18. I'm 27 now. On to my ex now. We met through his streams. I originally found him on TikTok. So I started joining his streams hoping to make some friends because he and I are very similar in regards of trauma, and we share many same interests, which in turn caused us to get on well, and we became friends after about a few weeks of me consistently hanging out on his streams and Discord server. I was mainly there to meet new people who I could possibly hang out with who would accept me. And they did. I had one heck of time, met so many people, and made quite a few friends. Friends all thanks to him. All thanks. At first, I was mainly alone in voice chat, hoping someone would join and hang out with me. I'd stream games on the server, hoping for a chance someone would like my gameplay and want to hang out. Then one day he showed up when I was alone, and it was just me and him for hours on end just chatting and hanging out. For context, I used a text-to-speech bot to speak. I forget what all we talked about mostly, but it ended up with us planning a Let's Play series with one of our favorite games. Our first 2 sessions were awesome, we had a blast. Then we started flirting and talking. After about a week, he asked me out. At the time, we didn't really think about long-term stuff, because we both had stuff going on in our personal lives, and we probably shouldn't have rushed it. But I said yes, and we dated for about a little over 3 months. It was amazing. I even had commissioned some art for us as an anniversary gift of our online personas. But towards the end, things kinda got hairy and ultimately led to us breaking up. It wasn't exactly the best one either, but definitely better than some. A lot of miscommunication happened and stress came about. One example was I had accidentally made a joke that triggered him to cry on stream. I had no idea it would hurt him like that and cause a trauma response. It was very insensitive. I felt awful, and the delivery should have been better, and it was my fault. I apologized many, many times. He forgave me and knew I didn't mean it after I explained it was just a poor choice of words. We did move on shortly as I cleared up the but that was the start of our downfall. I will clarify this video is not made to make him look bad in any way, shape, or form. I'm simply telling my truth, and that is all. Fast forwarding a bit, me and him would regularly talk super late even if we couldn't hang out that day because of our both busy schedules. He would make time for me when he could, and some nights he would stay up with me even when he was dread tired, even though I never asked him to. The idea, it was sweet, but it soon started taking a toll on him. I noticed and offered a solution, and that being we should prioritize our physical health before anything, meaning if he was dread tired, or I was, then we go to bed. Self-care is very important for both of us. Some nights I told him not to worry about me and focus on himself, being as stubborn as he. He didn't listen a lot of the times. I should have put my foot down and made sure he took care of himself before me. I only needed just a little of his time when he could. He is and will always be one of the most devoted people to his partner, and that's one of the qualities I admired of his. But he took it to extreme a few times and ended up with him being stressed and not feeling the best. On to the next part. I have always struggled with reading people's emotions and social cues, and plenty of times it's gotten me in trouble. Even with him, it still did. I will admit I never called myself perfect in any way, or even nice at that matter. Just blunt honesty and truth, it's how I live by. In the server, there were quite a few times me and his alone time got disturbed, and it didn't really make us that happy some of the times. But it never was that serious. He has plenty of mods and friends in his server, the whole shebang. I understood that completely and will admit I got a little jealous, maybe even more than that. and my jealousy caused problems sometimes. But like adults, we talked about our issues and usually came to a conclusion. We never really had fights like at all in our whole relationship till the end. Problem after problem came up, and we both were starting to get unhappy. He tried to get me to hang out with some of his friends a lot, which is understandable. They were there first before me. What could I say? Yeah, a lot of the times I wanted him all to myself, being greedy, which I shouldn't have done. He really made me happy, and him being a creator came fans and a community. I apologize for not trying harder to get along with his friends, especially his close ones. One of which I didn't like because I felt disrespected the first time you introduced us. I really didn't give them a chance after that, which in turn was unfair of me, I will admit. I struggle with empathy towards others due to the fact of having major trust issues and my PTSD, which in turn caused problems, understandably, and some of the times I could have tried harder but didn't, and I apologize for that. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I will admit I wasn't the best partner to him. But I really did mean well and tried to make him happy, just sometimes went about it the wrong way and caused conflicts and problems for him. I always tried to make up for it, but it got to the point where we both were failing and couldn't make it work. But I will always stand by this when I say this. I never abused him. Why would I? I really loved him, and if I did end up hurting him, I definitely did not mean it. And I apologize 1,000 times over, and apologizing once is hard enough for me as it is. Sure, I had plenty of crash outs and got upset and maybe said something that may have been a bit much, but I always felt bad afterwards and tried to fix it soon after. I just don't understand why someone would say I did. There was one time I had a talk with him where I mentioned I was going to maybe disappear one day because I have a habit of running when things get bad. It's how I survived all these years. I should never have said that and reassured him more, but it's all in the past now. There's not much else I can do at this point to repent for my honest mistakes, besides just putting out this video. That's why I made this, to get closure to this whole thing, at least for me. The breakup itself I thought was genuinely mutual, and I thought it went as good as it could have. He even said I could always reach out to him when I needed to. After we broke up, I stayed away from his streams, and we had said let's give it a week and try to talk again and take a break. I broke in 2 days, we talked a little, and it was okay, but something in him was different. I left it there, and waited the rest of week, and he promised me he would talk to me again. It never really happened the way I wanted it to, and when we did talk again, he acted differently towards me. He was cold and was very vague with his answers. I knew he was keeping something from me, but could never get what it was. Later, I heard he was freaking out, thinking I was stalking him when I wasn't. So I texted him and told him what was up, and that I wasn't out of concern for him, because I knew he was hurting, and I wanted to help. Then he exploded this time. When me and him spoke, he said he hated talking to me and never wanted to hear from him again. I haven't spoken to him since then. I appreciate it if you stayed till the end to hear my story. My truth. I hope you all have a happy holidays, and maybe I'll see you later. Good night, everybody. And if you're watching this, you know how to reach me.
Don't think you can enter my crosshairs and just walk away.